How to not lose yourself in dating and in love. We talk about techniques to help you be in a healthy relationship, attract the man that you want, but also become the woman that you want to be. And usually you start to lose yourself in dating, in love. And I'm so glad to see my friend that was not here last week, dear Coach Andres. How are you doing today?
It's great to be back. It's good to see you as well. Last week, thank you guys for tuning in. I was on vacation slash celebrations for my good best friend in Los Angeles getting married.
Ooh, love
We
it.
were in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for the week on the beach. I mean, I think I've had like 1,000 tacos. It was amazing. So it was
And how many margaritas?
well, there's called the lean margarita. It's skinny margaritas for women, lean margaritas for men. So it's like all about fresh agave and lime juice, basically less calories and sugar. I'd say a lot. I'll say for every 3 tacos, a margarita.
Yeah, but like it's not easy to be a relationship expert. Sometimes we need some time to decompress, to enjoy good holidays and good friendship, etc. Right?
It's very important. I've noticed that because like we're always one thing I love about what we do is like you're not just a coach. Like we're doing all things behind camera of marketing, content development, emails, assignments, follow-ups, texting, replying, all these things that you're like really a one-stop shop of being an entrepreneur. And so it takes a lot of energy and it
Yeah.
takes a lot of like, strong purpose. But to disconnect, I didn't have my phone on me. I didn't watch 1 minute of football and I loved it for a week. And I was like, but I need that recharge. Now I'm ready.
Yeah, I can feel it. Your
Yeah.
energy is amazing. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see you, buddy. It's nice to see you as well for tuning in for live. Remember that you can ask any question in the chat. You can share also your experience. I see Casey in the chat. I see Deepu. And it's just so important for us to receive your question and your stories because let's be honest, we all have this experience where we lost ourselves in love, in dating. Before to be a relationship expert, I was really codependent.
Really?
Yeah, I was always focusing on my partner. Like I was not able to enjoy my time.
Really?
Yeah,
You were just the biggest loser.
yeah. I can say it because I faced it, but I was a loser because how can you? No, that's true.
I love that.
How
I
can
was
you
one
not
too
be
once.
happy with yourself? How can you not be happy with your friends, your
No.
family? And there is a moment where you will be shocked, buddy. I was not even happy playing basketball. Like it's kind of like my relationship was everything to me. And when you lose yourself, you think that you're right. And that's one thing I wanted to share. I was thinking like I'm right to be so focused on my girlfriend at this stage. I'm right to be so focused on giving everything to her. But in reality, I was just overwhelming her. I was not inspiring her. I was just focused on my own codependency. And I feel like this is something we would work on it in this video podcast, but also in general, in all of our videos. The goal is to help you. Coach Andres, do you feel that there was one moment in your life where you lost yourself
Oh
in a
yeah.
relationship
Oh
or in
yeah. My
dating?
late 20s relationship. She knows who she is. It was just something where I was just trying to force something like let's say a square and a triangle, peg. It just wasn't there, but I was trying to make it more than what it could be. I've always played the role, which I've learned my problem of this approach from, my very first relationship, trying to like carry the relationship, save the relationship, build the relationship. Like I have a very, old school traditional way of being like a masculine, dominant, leadership kind of man, but always loves that, empowering women on next to me. Like my dad always said, it's not a man leading a woman, it's a man side by side by the woman.
Love it.
And so I had to learn how to grow up because whatever I thought I was doing was about like just losing myself in the relationship to basically carry the weight of the relationship. In my relationship, my late 20s, I was the biggest freaking loser in Los Angeles. I didn't like myself. My friends didn't recognize me. Those friends who actually were out at in Mexico for the wedding, they were there the whole time and saw that. And they're like, "What's going on, Dre? You're losing your light, man. You're not fun anymore. You were like the life of the party, and now you're like the opposite of that. Like, what's going on?" And I'm like, "I love her though. I love her." And they're like, "No, you don't. You love how much you're giving. You love how much you're losing because
love
you're
it.
trying to feel something within yourself."
I love what you mentioned because we love the idea that we are giving. We
Yeah.
love the idea that we want that person because of how that person makes us feel. But sometimes it looks like a drug.
Yes.
It's destroying you. It's making you feel sad. It's cutting you from your friends, your family. That's why losing yourself, it's not healthy love. We think that it's healthy love, but it's absolutely not.
That's why you actually, I'm curious. You've probably mentioned a few clients before in the past about how like they go through like a withdrawal,
Yeah.
like a detox of like after a breakup of an unhealthy relationship because they've lost themselves so much they don't even know where to begin. So they're almost in this withdrawal stage of an addiction.
Yeah, and I always want to remember you guys that it's not your fault. It's not our fault. What's going on? It's like the education from Disney to Hollywood, sometimes the society, sometimes the parents, the family. Even if they want to do good for us, they always teach us to forget about ourselves. It's kind of like the idea that you need to lose yourself if you want to be loved. And I think that the coach Andre's philosophy and my philosophy, it's also the idea that no, it's not right. You can be happy by being yourself. You need to inspire your partner. You need to create attraction. You need to create an amazing relationship that you're part of it. And this is the reason why we are doing this podcast and this video. And Coach Andres, I wanted to start because I promised someone that I would respond to your question. She came on TikTok and she asked me this question: how do you keep the balance in doing just enough without losing yourself? So, what is a normal way to give or show love without scaring the person that will end up leaving you? Basically, how to love without making that person scared and pushing that person away.
Well, that question, there's like a lot of fear in that question. I already sense the tone of fear where it's like, if you don't show it, you're going to lose someone.
Yep.
I already sense the vibe of that relationship where it's like, if you don't continue to do as much as you're doing, you think you're going to lose someone. And that's like a level of like walking on thin ice. That's not a very stable foundation to be in a relationship. So it's like, the answer is, I always say again, is the demonstrate, validate theory in coaching, which is kind of like the metaphor that we always refer to, like the tennis ball. You know, you hit one over there, don't hit another one until they return it. And if that player on the opposite end of the court doesn't want to return it, then you need to find another court. And so it's not about the quality of play or the quality of the return, but the fact that they validated your demonstration of your nice gesture. And then you go back and forth. So it's a demonstrate, validate to a point. If I do something nice for you, and as much as I love you and I want to do again something nice for you, I'm not going to. I'm going to wait until you reciprocate to the smallest gesture or something even matching what I did, to understand there is a trusting, respectful building block that we both understand and value within each other, compared to someone just being a giver or a people pleaser. And that way you build more anxiety. There's a very common weird thing that more people that give love, they do it because they don't want to sit in their thoughts of anxiety. So they just act and act and act and produce because they have this fear. If I stop showing so much love, they're going to walk away. They're going to leave. And so I look at it where you have to have a demonstration, validation mindset to know that you might get the truth, though. You might get the truth where someone doesn't reciprocate it. Someone does take you for granted. Someone doesn't appreciate you. And if it comes to that, then you realize, I'm kind of carrying this relationship. That's not right.
Yeah. I think it's very important what you mentioned, Coach Andres, because most of the time we want to carry the relationship by ourselves. And we ended up in being in a one-sided relationship. So when I look at the question, I can see the fear as well. We have the fear. Yeah, of course. There is a fear of not doing right. There is the thing of doing something wrong. And if I do something wrong, or if I'm not doing right, I would lose that person. But if we have this mindset that basically I will lose that person, for sure we would end up losing that person. So the law of attraction or the mindset is the most important asset in our life. So when I see the question, like basically it's how can we balance? How can we balance giving love without scaring and losing that person, or without losing ourselves? I think the most important challenge that we are trying to accomplish with our videos and our philosophy is to understand that we are all different. When you're facing an avoidant, when you're facing someone anxious, when you're facing someone that just got out of a divorce, all those situations are just different. So you cannot apply one formula to every man. It won't work. Coach Andres has different needs as myself. And this is the reason why love is beautiful, because we can adapt and we can find our soulmate. Now, the idea is, how can I give to someone without losing myself? Don't try to buy love. Don't try to make someone love you in return. Make them feel. So that's why I will always push you to create new experiences, to be the one initiating the dates with new activities that you love, you can make him discover. In this way, you will also make yourself first. And another example that I give to the people I coach, and I want to hear your thought on this one, Coach Andres.
Yeah.
I tell women, like, look, if you want to go on a date and you're having great conversation, you can ask him out. Let's say that you want to go watch a movie. You can tell him, like, there's this movie I really want to go. Do you want to come with me? If he says no and you don't go, that's for me when you lose yourself. If he says no and you go with a friend of yours, that's when you're still continuing to value yourself. What do you think of this idea that we can initiate sometimes for some activities, but if they are not available in a relationship or in dating, we still do it in order to not lose ourselves?
You prioritize your purpose. You prioritize your happiness. You prioritize yourself and what's important. You can go from the very beginning stages of, let's say, a first date. So a lot of clients or comments on videos say, what do I do on the first date? What do I do on the first date? And I always try to, and I'm curious what you think on this, is that remove the expectation for it to be like this person being the one. Probably not. Maybe a boyfriend, girlfriend. Probably not. You have to have the idea that I'm going to enjoy this evening. And if there is a connection, beautiful, awesome, great. But I'm going to enjoy this Friday night. I deserve this Saturday evening, this concert, stand-up comedy, this dinner event. You know what I mean? So like when you go on a date, I want to enjoy this and be the best version of myself. And if we get along and have chemistry and attraction and connection, amazing. But you're not the meal. You're like the cherry on the top of things. Remember we talked about that before, the cake? And so one thing I remember, I wrote this article about love is the breaking down of living on valued energy. Living on valued energy. When you understand love is about the valued energy you put in within yourself and the energy that you project out in the world, it's because you want to bring value to your life. You want to bring value to someone else. And that way, where even though, like you said, traumas, trust issues, red flags, insecurities, bad breakups, toxic, we've all been there. Oh, what's going on? Oh, see, there you go. There you go. Valued lights. And so my point is, when you all gone through something bad in your relationship and you still carry that, you're devaluing your love and you're devaluing the love you're giving away to someone. So the codependency is you're still repeating the same mistake within yourself with the same mindset. You need to work on yourself, prioritize yourself, where you, like a perfect example, he can't make it, but you still go with your girls. She can't make it, but you still go with your boys. That is huge because you're now going to enjoy your life with or without this person. And you hope it's with that person.
I love what you mentioned, Coach Andres. And we are starting to give you some keys, some elements, some tips, and I want to make sure that you will jot them. Okay, guys? So Coach Andres is giving you the best advice ever. And it's not coming from me, and that destroyed me, but I have to give credit to this guy. What is it exactly? If you go for love, if you go on a date to make sure that you are in a relationship and that he will be your boyfriend, you will lose yourself immediately, because then you have to keep this mindset of, I need to keep him, I need to be good for him, I need to please him, etc. This is exactly what the society wants from you, and this is exactly what makes you go directly into toxic relationship, into narcissist relationship, into one-sided relationship. And we are here as your relationship expert to tell you this is over. Okay, we need to stop that. When you go on a date, it is to enjoy the moment. It is to just create memories, because imagine that you can create a memory. Imagine that you can remember the first date in 2 months. It means that the first date was amazing. It was amazing for you. And of course, it was amazing for the guy, because there is no way we enjoy something and they don't enjoy it, right? So the moment you realize that, you're not losing yourself anymore. That's number one. Now we need to talk about being a relationship. How can we love someone without losing ourselves? For me, in one word, calendar. What does it mean exactly?
Calendar?
Calendar. Because I always lost myself every time. I lost myself in every situation, in every relationship, until I had my calendar. And if I have time with Andres, it's time with Andres. Even if my wife calls me now, I will be, I'm sorry, babe, I'm with Andres.
We're watching Miami Heat play.
Yeah, but if I don't have a calendar, what am I doing? Oh, okay. Sorry, sorry, Andres. Not feeling too well. Oh, sorry. She called me. I have to
Oh,
run.
what a loser.
So the idea is we need to make sure that you have a schedule, you have a calendar,
Hmm.
and you need to write down when you see your girlfriends, when you go to the gym, when you go to work, when you have time for yourself, by yourself. Nobody can disturb you. You do like Andres' strategy, which is I don't touch my phone. When you're like this, I think that you cannot lose yourself. It's
Mm.
very scary to do it, but I think for me, it changed my life. How did you start to?
No, it makes so much sense because you're just removing all emotion. You're
Mhm.
removing all feelings, and you're just being as technical and almost as like methodical as in just a routine, schedule, calendar, work ethic. And so you're now going to prioritize what is busy and what's important for you that week. And obviously you make time for your significant other, but you're now saying, I am not going to replace these things with more time with my significant other until this relationship builds to something more promising, more investing, more commitment, or more permanent.
Mhm.
These things matter to me just as much. And I always find this interesting because a lot of my clients, like, again, I coach mostly women. I do coach a few men. They become the best versions of themselves until they meet this guy, and then they lose themselves. They lose their friendships. They lose the focus in the gym. Their work kind of just slacks off. They don't hang out with anyone on the weekends but that person. And I'm like, I get the excitement. I get the joy. I love the passion of it. But you realize you're kind of destroying your value and losing yourself to making yourself only feel important when you're around one person. That one person who actually values and respects you and loves you the right way, in a healthy way, in a mature way, wants you to be on your own, wants you to go out with your friends, wants you to take time for yourself, wants you to work hard. Because the wrong person is going to make you feel guilty. It's going to make you manipulate the situation to, oh, wow, you don't love me? Come on, come on. All right, boy, get away. All right, little girl, get away. And so you realize when it comes to adult relationships like yourself in marriage, you guys are partners.
Yep.
So when you realize I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I want a boyfriend. What do you get out of here? You want a partner. You want a partner. You want a teammate. You want a life supporter who understands you better be the best of you, and I'm going to be the best of me, and then we're about to do the best of things to with each other. You know what I mean? So it's like it's very important to understand like anyone who belittles or downgrades or depletes or defeats your energy, your aura, your purpose, your schedule, it's just going to lead to a toxic relationship. And I get it. It's very confused because there's a lot of romance and charm and passion and fire that covers it up. And so it's easy to lose yourself. It's, you know what I mean? It's like basically getting presented a big chocolate cake. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my God, I got to eat the whole thing. No, let's conserve it. And so you realize with the right person, the more you're actually patient and conserve things, you start to see someone's true commitment towards you compared to just chasing lust compared to love.
I love what you mentioned, Coach Andres. And ladies, I hope that you're taking notes because this is very, very, very important. To not lose yourself, it means a beautiful relationship, a beautiful love story until the rest of your life. The only competition is you against you.
Yep.
Let's be honest here. The moment you control your emotions, you can say no to toxic people. You can say no to toxic relationship. The moment you control your emotions, you feel good with yourself. You feel happy and confident. That's when we can have this amazing and balanced relationship. Because if you give too much, people text. They take and then they don't care about you, unfortunately. So we have to change this behavior and the mindset. So I have some comments here and there. It's not the topic, but I think it's very important. There is Tanima asking, does guys come back after no contact, period? Have you seen, Coach Andres, that men start to come back when women do a no contact? I would say when women put themselves first. What's your take on this one?
So she asking, do men come back after
Yeah.
no contact or people come back after no contact?
Men. It was specifically to men.
Do men come back after no contact? It's interesting because there's majority of the times that if they come back, it's the same problem is still there, unfortunately. So usually there's been a smaller percentage of when someone comes back after no contact, it's because they really got the message and they really understood what the problem was, and they want to discuss the situation. They want to resolve the differences. They want to move forward. They have accountability to actually not just, hey, you want to hang out, you know what I'm saying, like rekindle a very convenient fire, a very comfortable spark with someone in the past, which is very common, and we've all done it. You know, we've all done it. But if someone comes back for no contact, you want to see the actual level of wholesomeness, a level of humility, of them understanding, like, don't come back and break this no contact to waste my time. Like, don't bullshit me. You know what I mean? Don't just try to casualize the situation. Don't dance around our breakup. And actually had a client recently this week about this guy that she was with, came back after no contact, and it was just basically convenient, casual conversations, and completely ignored the breakup that was recent. And so you can really see the true identity of someone's breaking no contact in a man if they're actually genuinely caring about who you are and respectful of your time, and try to have a new approach to like getting to know you again or meeting up with you, compared to someone just sliding right in your DMs and trying to just casualize the situation, or maybe have a casual hookup. I mean, what's your take?
It's exactly what you mentioned. Basically, do men come back after the no contact? The answer for me is yes. You will see most of the time, 99% of the time, men will come back. Few, like let's say 10%, they come back for good reasons. They come back and they can give you the explanations. Hey, this is what happened. This is how I felt. This is what I don't like. This is what I want. Let's create this partnership again. You know, if I can give you explanation, I worked on myself. I used the no contact efficiently. But
I love the way that was very sold right there.
Yeah.
Efficiently.
Efficiently.
I love that.
But most of the guys, they come back to test.
Yeah.
Oh, you are doing the no contact? You're not that in love with me? Let me come back and see if I can still own you, if I can still have control on you.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the answer is yes, they come back, but that doesn't mean it's a big win for us. And I see Casey in the chat as well, saying, for example, he's coming back to me, he's acting well now that I was doing the no contact, but it's not a proof of change. So you don't want to go back immediately in the same case. And you want to make sure that they can explain their behavior. If they are only telling you, I realize I love you, I realize I miss you, I realize that it's sad that we are not spending some time, this is all bullshit. They just realize that they don't own you and they want to own you again. And that's not our philosophy. That's not exactly what we want to do. Okay? But there is another question from Deborah that I love. Is it true? If he wanted, he would.
Yep. 100%.
100%.
100%.
What about this guy that has some fear, anxiety?
Not ready.
He's avoidant.
Not ready.
Okay.
Not ready. So again, you look at it in a scenario, and I've actually, gone through something not too long ago about something like this, in the sense with the, I'm single, I'm dating, I'm doing my thing, but I know what I'm looking for. And so there's two options in this scenario in the dating world, where it comes from someone's either not ready because they're living a lifestyle or doing things that they just want to have their options, which is fine. We don't judge those scenarios. Or someone's still hesitant and fear because they haven't really taken the time to heal, grow, advance, if not evolve to something they're ready. And that one's actually even more respectful, if not understandable, where I have compassion for it. But that sounds like a project for me then. Nope. Sorry. Nope. So it's like, you need to understand the value of the effort from that second option. If they're hesitant, fearful, insecure, avoidant, but you see them trying, oh yeah, that's all I care about is the effort. But for someone to be playing games or playing their options and saying the right things to you but showing wrong actions, not get out of here. Or someone who's saying things but hesitant. I have another client of mine where this guy keeps on reaching out, but he's saying, I just don't know how I'm going to act if I see you. Get a hold of yourself, bro. I don't know how I'm going to act when I see you. What the fuck is, like, what's going on? Who are you hanging out with? You know what I mean? And she's like this like little delicate little girl. And so, like, she laughs at me. She's like, what does this mean? She sends me the screenshot. She goes, I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to handle myself. I was like, it's coffee. It's coffee. What do you, like? And so if someone's so scared, someone's so hesitant, We've been there and I have compassion for it,
So
but
let
I
me
don't want to carry that person's hand. I don't need to save somebody.
okay, let me ask you this question because if you I don't know the story, but if this guy send, I don't know how I will be able to behave, how I could will be able to get a hold of you, whatever. Don't you think that he was trying to see if there is a way they can end up in bed? Like he was saying, like, I cannot control myself. I want to kiss you. I want to hug you. I want to touch you. I want to have.
Well, again, I think the reason why they're not together wasn't about that. It was more of just like he was uncertain with everything in his life. And
I
so
see.
she was very, patient and supportive and very sweet. I mean, she admits when she was wrong on things, but he's always basically not sure about his career and unhappy with this and that. So he's always had this very unstable foundation of himself. So, I mean, I don't think his intention was to just hook up. I think it was more of just like, you were there for me all this time. You were like my rock, and I'm still scared. I still haven't had my own answers for myself.
Mm.
And so what I'm trying to say is you don't need someone to be fully established or even perfect or even come close to being confident all the time. You want someone who's at least aware of it and speak on it and still act on it.
Mhm.
It's almost like when you know there's something great out there and you're scared to do it scared. If you know there's something amazing out there and you're a little uncomfortable, do it uncomfortable. You now have the priority and you have the strength and the will saying, I know what my value is and I know I want to be with this person and I'm terrified, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Like I always remember this one story. Do you know the difference between brave and courage?
No.
Brave and courage. Anyone? I'm curious. Any
Tell
comments?
us in the chat. Yeah.
Anyone know the difference between bravery and courage? Okay. So there's a story about basically, we'll just use as an analogy. Showing up to the door takes a lot of bravery.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because bravery means like, all right, I know what I'm going to do to a certain extent and show up to a certain level of control and safety. I'm brave. Courage is walking to the unknown. I don't know what's going to happen to me, but I'm going down that door. I'm passing through here and there. Bravery sets you up.
Mhm.
Bravery is a great quality, an amazing attribute. I mean, if you're brave, that's beautiful. That's awesome. We don't stop just at bravery. It's that what we call that leap of love, that leap of faith, that leap of everything. We're almost like the baby bird has to fly off the little twig, not knowing if the wings are going to work. That's courage. And so someone I see who has courage in them, I can't carry you anymore. I'm sorry. Can't do it. I mean, maybe if you're my kid, but not my partner like that. Not in the beginning stages. Wife, I'll carry you everywhere. But in the beginning, no, can't do it.
Hmm. I understand what you mentioned, Coach Andres. So that's a good answer to Deborah saying, is it true? If he wanted to, he would. I tend to believe as well that it's a big yes. It comes from our need, what we want. Sometimes with men, we have to make sure that they feel the excitement, they feel the desire. So it's not just always as simple because if you're too needy or too available, even if he wants to, he won't have to do it because you will do his job. That's why we talk today about how to not lose yourself, how to not do his job, how to not act for both. And sometimes, ladies, you're so passionate that you will act for not just both, for everyone in your life. And that's too much. You need to put yourself first and you need to sometimes be a little bit selfish.
Can I add on something before we change topic on
sure.
that? So one thing about what I've personally, gone through, getting older, becoming, a man and becoming an adult and all those things, going to
Are
bed
you
at
a
night.
man?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And so one thing I try to, implement in my coaching sessions with my clients is they always ask, how do you know? Does a man know when he knows? Does a man know when he wants? Does a man know, like to the question? And I always say, don't confuse a man from a boy. So just because the guy that you're talking to is successful or a certain age or has gray hairs or even has a great lifestyle, that doesn't define a man of being ready. Does it define success? Yes. Does it define like some level of stable, impressing, accomplishments? 100%. I want to learn from that business person. But if a man's ready for love, relationships, sacrifice, and all those things, you need to look at the emotional intelligence of that man.
Mm-hmm.
So he might be rich, he might be strong, he might have all these great assets in his life and just seem like he's all got it together. But if he still acts like an emotional boy, you got to drop them off at the playground, because you realize how someone and the emotional intelligence that we've learned and we've grown into. I'm sure you have when you got married and became a father. Like your EQ probably just took another step up.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
And it's funny because you feel like, as a coach and all the trainings that I have done, it's like I worked on myself like crazy. I coach so many people since 2007. I'm the number one in France. I have millions of people that follows me there. I have a team in Brazil, a team in Spain, a team in Italy, a team in Germany. And you know what? I'm still learning every single day. And becoming a father, becoming an husband, I was really ready. Becoming a father, it's just totally different. And it changed me so, so, so much. And what Coach Andres is telling you is the most important advice again. If a guy is perfect but doesn't have emotional intelligence, if he doesn't know how to connect to your need, if he doesn't know how to listen to you, if he act like a boy, man, you will lose yourself because you will try to explain him what life is, and he's just not listening to you. He just doesn't really care. So you need to also find a man that will care. And the only way you not lose yourself and he cares about you, it's very simple. Does he listen to you
Mm.
when you say something? Or I would appreciate for you to communicate more. Really do it. Really just come to you. I know you want to add something.
No, I love that, because I agree with, again, it's just women want to feel seen, heard, and safe.
Mhm.
And so a smart, emotional, intelligent man, and again, that man doesn't have to be 45, 55. People grow up at different points of their lives, all based on their own personal experience. And so there is no age.
Can
Like,
you repeat it? I'm just writing in the chat. I want to make sure
emotional intelligence or maturity of being a man has no actual age number on it. It's about personal experience. Sometimes, I lost my father at 17. I had to grow up quick, but I had to learn how to like really sculpt who I want to be compared to what I was fighting. And so everyone has a different story. If it's like a divorce or having a child young or a family loss or, anything else going on that makes you more mature than your age. So there is no age of I'm a man, I'm a woman. It's the emotional intelligence that you finally realize I want to be clear with my intention and I'm open-minded to being wrong. And I want to express myself as wholesome as possible. Like I have no ego. You know what I'm saying? I have just pure like love and confidence to handle the situation for best of all.
Mhm.
And so when you see, I have a lot of clients who stay in these relationships because the guy is successful or the guy is rich or has a certain lifestyle, but he runs away when it's time to talk. I don't want to hear it. Or he dismisses your opinion. And so you're like, these women tell me all the time, like, yeah, it's a nice lifestyle here and there, but I never feel heard. I feel seen because I look good and he likes that. And I don't feel safe because we don't communicate in that higher level.
Mm.
And when you realize when you try to have a relationship for a long term or a family or a marriage, you want to value those elements in a relationship because you're going to have a handful, a shitload of life problems coming to you. Not because you're special, not because it's personal, it's because it's life. So how you handle conflict or differences with someone in your relationship is huge on how you're going to see the future last.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just you, ladies, it's how he will handle the conflict, the resolutions, the situation, the arguments, etc. Because I know you will do the job, but you want also him to do the job. I see Merle telling us in the chat, I want that, I want those values, but it is difficult, Andres or Alex. It's hard sometimes. You know what, guys? It's hard because you stuck with your bad choices. I'm sorry, ladies and Merle. I know you from the lives. Man, you're stuck on one guy. This guy is destroying your life,
Yeah.
and you're stuck in it. But I want to come back to Kafa and her situation because 2 weeks ago she said, I met this guy.
Oh, Kafa!
Yeah, Kafa is here. She said, like, I met this guy. He's not a big texter. He told me that he's not into text messages. So this is the whole story now. I am insecure about my situation, early dating stage. We didn't meet yet.
Oh,
What I told,
so you're already insecure before even meeting?
yeah, but the guy was like, I'm not a big texter, so it doesn't text. It's been 2 weeks, he never texted. So
Or met?
no.
Oh.
What do you think of this? Because 2 weeks ago,
No,
you remember
already,
what you remember what
I
you
remember
said?
what I said.
Okay,
Oh,
do
yeah.
you remember what you said?
Kafa called me the next day.
So the idea is very simple. If for me, you're not a big texter, I understand that. You're not someone on your phone, I understand that. But if you let someone 2 weeks or 1 week without one text message, you're not putting any effort.
Mm.
And for you, Kafa, to be in love with someone that you never met, or to be so focused on someone that you never met, it's risky. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not judging you guys. I'm just telling you it's very risky.
Mm.
And sometimes we can feel some deep connection. But if that person is not texting you in 1 week, for me, it's a no-go for sure. This is not okay. But I want to hear your thoughts on this
No,
one.
it's hitting a chord in that sense where it's like, I understand. I'm not a big texter. I don't like texting. I really don't. I text a lot with my clients, and I have a lot of texting like in my business team here and there. So I don't want to text you. I will check on you, and I will make sure I'll see how you're doing. But I prefer phone calls. And so if someone's not a big texter or even a big communicator on the phone because their schedule is so busy, that's understandable. That's actually
Yeah.
respectful. I get that. You have a lot going on. You have kids, or you have a very, demanding job. But if you can't prioritize me in this relationship in some form of a time frame within a few days or a week, I don't want to pursue this relationship because it's going to be annoying. It's going to be anxious. It's going to be draining. It's going to be just nerve-wracking because you're missing the biggest part is communication.
Mhm.
And so you don't need to be on long phone calls or texting all day like high schoolers or Snapchatting. My God, if you're Snapchatting someone, I'm gonna hang up this podcast right now. Don't Snapchat if you're an adult. All right, stop it. It's insane. And so
Let me ask if they do it or
God,
not.
I have clients who Snapchat, and I'm like, how old are you? How old are you? My God. And so my point is, like, they talk about the streaks. I'm like, you care about a Snapchat streak? Really? Shit. Anyways, my point is, I value communication through the phone and in person, less texting. But if someone doesn't even try to make the effort or make it important to get a hold of you or check on you or see how you're doing in a normal sense of like a friend or a normal just convenience of being a good person, it comes off now rude, and it comes off selfish, and it comes off inconsiderate to a point where I'm going to keep on hanging around this. No, I'm good. I'm good. And I respect that you're busy. I respect that you're overwhelmed, but I don't need to be a part of that world because I already have a sample of how it's going to be. And that's not where I'm at right now.
Mhm. I love what you mentioned, Coach Andres. And Kafa, I'm sorry for you because I know you really put some efforts into it and you had some hope that, he's not a big texter, but we can still build a connection. Unfortunately, what I saw in your text message, in your comment, it's for me a no-go. You cannot just be the one texting and waiting for a response and it didn't even respond to you. And you're wondering if you did something wrong. How can you come up with the idea, ladies, that it's coming from you, like you're the mistake, when you're the one doing twice more than what he does?
And then again, who is that busy? I mean, take it easy, freaking, Kamala Harris. Like, who's that busy to not even respond to something? So either you're
Yeah.
so busy where you don't respond or you don't want to respond. Why would you stay in that kafa?
Yeah, the Kafa is saying I should have asked during our conversation on FaceTime before he went on holidays how we would keep contact together. I regret not discussing it. But that's the thing, Kafa. You can regret a lot of things in your life, but when you try to find the little things that you didn't do, you're blaming yourself.
Exactly.
It is not something you need to ask. If someone wants to be in touch, they will.
Yes.
Especially guys, when they want to pursue a woman, they will. But for you to just go and tell yourself it's my fault, you're losing yourself now for a guy that you never met.
Oh,
And that's a problem for me because you put all of your eggs in the same basket and you continue to devalue yourself. Kafa, you sound, I'm sorry if it's just coming too off, but just for you, you sound desperate right now.
100%.
And we need to change this dynamic. That's why we do all of our videos. It's not to judge you, it's to tell you this is not okay from his side. You cannot think about discussing everything because it's normal that he will respond to your fucking text message. That's it. It's normal.
I
He needs
agree.
to do it.
Give me an emoji.
Yeah.
Are you alive?
If he doesn't do it, then it's not okay for us.
And to add on to Coach Alex's point, Kafa, we come here with love and respect, but we're telling you things to help you wake up. It's tough love. And so we're trying to let you know, like, and I don't, hopefully I'm wrong on this. I'm pretty sure this isn't the first time you've been like this in a dating scenario where you lost yourself, you sabotaged yourself, you blamed yourself, and you gave too much to someone who wasn't giving you back. I'm sure this has happened many times, or if not a couple of times. You need to break that pattern because you are selling yourself short. you're literally sabotaging yourself, and you're making dating a like torturous slash dramatic, intense experience where you should be in point of peace or joy or happiness or excitement. You're approaching dating with the wrong mentality, making it all work and stressful. There's enough work and stressful things in a normal established relationship or in a marriage, respectfully. But in the beginning stages, Kafa, please send one of us a message. Let's get you a one-on-one coaching call. Now we can learn more about you personally and help you unfold these issues and almost rewire who you are, because it sounds like you love love. It sounds like you have a lot to offer. You sound like you're very open and honest with yourself, which is great. Now we just need to kind of rewire how you approach the dating world. And that way you makes it a little, actually, what we're trying to do is make things easier for you by doing less.
Yeah. And it's very important, ladies, to know that this is our real passion and job. So if you send us a message, we will do our best. But also you can book a private coaching session. The website with Andres is coachingwithandres.com. The link is in the description box. You can also book with me at FrenchRelationshipExpert.com. But I want to tell you something. If you look at Casey, she's always here for the live, and she has been following us for months.
She's a client of mine.
Yeah, she's amazing. And look at the result now. When you look at the result of Casey, she said, the guy that I was now no contact, focusing on myself, he came back to her. So when we give you a piece of advice, it's because it's working. The moment, Kafa, you tell yourself that what he does is not enough and you start to move on from this situation, by surprise, this guy will start now to be a texter, a caller, and then he will be a one that organizing a date. But it's about energy, it's about mindset. And if I can recommend you something, book with Coach Andres. Like, it is amazing for those type of situation.
Can I actually share some good
for
news?
Sure, you have to.
So
pregnant.
Another client of mine, I think she's on my TikTok right now. I'll keep it, anonymous, but in the sense that she just invited me to her wedding, and I helped her break bad habits. She's a sweet woman. She was a single mom, hard worker, just, strong provider, strong background. And she just always had the bad pattern of dating the same kind of type. And it always started the same kind of way, where she didn't pick someone just wrong. It just became wrong, and she tolerated too much and like compromised her values and standards and lost her value, and kind of just, again, eventually unfolded to the same kind of anxiety, stressful situations. And she was like, why? All I want is this. Why all I want is that? You're asking the wrong questions to the wrong guy. And you think this guy's something he's not. And you get caught up with the same pattern for the same result. So when she came to me, she was literally in the stage of something new with someone, and it was starting to repeat the same past, because before a phone call, every time we have a coaching call, you email me an up story, a background, a update scenario, 500 to 1,000 word story prior to the phone call. And that way, when we talk on the phone video call, we spend every minute that you pay for focused on solutions. I'm already caught up. And so she was giving me the backstory of her past relationships, and then another backstory of a recent guy that it was kind of similar to other relationships. And I'm like, you already see where this is going, don't you? And she was like, you're right. So finally, she learned to actually try to discipline herself and be patient and not force anything, and gave it time, even though she was even lonely or even wanted, like, just any kind of companionship, because it's tough, single mom. And she was like, man, I don't know. And I was like, stay disciplined. Here comes new guy. And now they're getting married. Ooh. And this guy's a single father. And she said, it's just easy. We have a different background, different history, different culture, but we just have an open honesty about, like, we've been through a lot. They've gone through a lot of shit, the divorce, the child, the upbringing, like everything. And it was like, he's gone through so much like me in a different way. He doesn't want to jeopardize anything. He doesn't want to risk anything. So it's very like open book. And she was like, God, that's refreshing. And I'm like, that's how you know when a man realizes, I'm tired of games. I've gone through enough. I've been broke. I've been heartbroken. I've been, physically broken. I just want a good woman. And so that was her from the very beginning. And she now sees that in him and being a good man. And now they're getting married. And so the point is, you have to understand, if you keep on getting the same result in your dating experience, you need to have a different approach. You need to rewire a few things. But I'm sure, like Kafa and Casey and everyone else, the core of you, solid. You just have to retweak a couple of things with the dating approach.
I saw a comment on your TikTok that was funny. It was Amber saying, "I have a bad taste in men." So, I don't think that you have a bad taste with men. I think that if you rewind a little bit this live and you listen to Coach Andres, once again, he said something so important. It's you will tolerate something. If you continue to tolerate a behavior that is not at your level, man, these guys, they will just use you and they will torture you, and you will be so unhappy. The real reason why we do these lives, it's to help you not tolerate. It's to help you not focus on how a man will make you feel, because they will make you feel like a princess, and then you fall in love and you feel like, oh, this is what I want to experience for the rest of my life. But the princess effect will last 1 month. What after that? Nothing. You will feel like a piece of shit, and then this guy will continue to use you. So don't choose a man based on how he makes you feel. Never. Choose a man based on how you can build together something. You can build some. You talk about partner. It's this idea that you can build something. They help you elevate your life. They support you. They are on your side, and vice versa. You would be on his side. But if you only choose a man based on how he makes you feel, this won't last forever. It will last only couple of weeks.
Yeah,
that's it.
First of all, I love when you start cussing in English with your French accent.
It's the first time I'm doing. I don't know what happens with me today.
All right, go for it.
I don't know. I'm like no control. I'm like just.
That's awesome. It's great. Again, that's something I add on to what he's saying 100% is, I always tell my clients and everyone, and this goes both ways. So if there's any gentlemen on the call, and again, this applies to everyone, but we focus on women, just our philosophy. Again, we have women who coach men and men who coach women. That's just the whole idea of that balanced masculine, feminine energy. But I always say to my clients, I was like, choose a good role model, not a good lover. Value high character, not how he makes you feel. Someone can make you feel on top of the world, and then you get lost, and then they can bring you right back down. That's called a drug. It's called an adrenaline rush. It's called strong coffee. You know what I mean? That's nicotine. That's something like makes it and then down. The highs and lows, the ups and downs. It's a crazy roller coaster you don't want to have. When you value and you prioritize and look to attract good character, a good role model, a good man, a good worker, a good brother, a good father, a good son, and you're like, wow, this person knows how to handle himself and takes pride in who he is. This is a good partner. And again, so a lot of ladies I noticed in my calls, they lose themselves on the feeling. And don't get me wrong, the feeling's great. You want the feeling. The feeling is important, but it cannot carry you. You want to actually value someone's trustworthy characteristics, honorable attributes, family-oriented or not, whatever is your preference, but they love their lives. They love what they do. They respect their bodies. You know what I mean? So the way they treat themselves, the way they're always going to say, I have a self-love about who I am, and I'm open about sharing my things with someone special. So don't ever lose yourself to a feeling, because that feeling can go away. I mean, feelings are like what? Waves of emotions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how you can just use some rational decision into the dating life, which is more emotional. But the good news is you won't lose yourself. You will continue to focus on your project. You will continue to focus on being an amazing woman that you are. You will continue to focus on having great energy. Because if you start to give too much attention to your love life, you would be unbalanced. And that's what we are trying to teach you today. It's the idea that you can have it all. You can really have everything. You can really create something amazing. So remember to have a calendar. Remember to put yourself first. Remember to be part of the relationship. You can express what you need. You can express ideas to date and to have some fun. And you, Coach Andres, I want you to tell us, what do you think, like some actionable items that they can do in order for them to stop?
Well, I have a list right here. It's called 10 ways to identify codependency in your relationship. 10 ways.
Let's go to these 10 ways.
I will go for the first 3 and we'll talk about it. Kafa, take notes, give me a call. Let's have a coaching call. The first one, which Kafa already exampled on this, is you sacrifice your happiness for your partner's happiness.
Yep.
No, thank you. Sorry, can't do it. You got to wear and you got to put on your own oxygen mask before you put on anyone else. All right. We don't need to be like playing Wonder Woman. Relax. All right. Relax. Put on your own oxygen mask first. Do not sacrifice your own happiness for your partner's happiness, especially someone you haven't even met yet, especially someone you haven't even dated to a point of boyfriend, girlfriend. It's one thing if you sacrifice your happiness for your wife or the mother of your kids. Okay, because that's reciprocally going to come back because you know and you trust that person. But in the beginning dating stages or in the building dating stages, we don't know if there's trust and respect there yet. And it needs to be earned, which leads number two. Your relationship is one-sided. Like you said, your earlier relationships, you did that. I've done that. We all have done that. How did that feel? Exhausting.
Yeah.
God, losers. And number three, you feel resentful of being responsible for everything. So even Kafa's example, she felt responsible of the situation. Did I say something wrong? Did I say something? And you're walking on eggshells all the time. So what's your take on that?
I love what you mentioned, Coach Andres, because we want to give our best and we feel so insecure, and the insecurity would grow days after days. That's why you need, guys, to have some boundaries. If a guy is not texting me, I should not go out. I should not respond. I should tell him I'm not okay with it. And the idea is for you to continue to live your life, but socialize, meet more men. When I see that you're telling me, oh, it's tough, or it's difficult, it's always because you will go to one guy. You're falling in love with the guy before even he opened his mouth.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. If you continue to meet more people, you would have more opportunities. So it's easier to pick the right person for you as well. So I'm telling you, ladies, the number one thing I would encourage you is to socialize, get more opportunities with men. That doesn't mean that you would go and have sex or have multiple relationships and cheat on everyone. Sorry. No, it's not that. But it's just, let's go socialize so I can be sure of what I want. I can have different options and I can feel like this guy, whoa, this guy is fighting for me. This guy is secure. This guy is normal, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's what we want.
I had a client yesterday actually about this. She's saying dating is so tough. Dating is so annoying. And I'm like, it's actually not. It's actually the most simplest formula of way of just approaching life. But the problem is why people make dating so difficult is because they stay with the wrong person or the wrong situation longer than they should. Because they haven't done the work. They haven't looked at themselves in the mirror. They haven't hired a coach. They haven't done therapy. They continue to repeat the same pattern for new results. And we all know the definition of insanity is. So it's like you have to look at it where we have homework and we have assignments where here's a quick one on this, how to break your habit of attracting the same type. Write this fucking down. Write it down on paper what you value in a relationship and what didn't work in your last relationship. And that's your blueprint. I don't care if someone's great, amazing in bed, rich, handsome, beautiful, whatever. And then now, when like Alex said, now you know you're going to play with options and see what's out there, but you're targeting a specific type now of high character, emotional maturity, financially stable, or someone who wants kids. You've now literally sculpted your approach to be specific. And I want you to snipe the situation. Like, now I have quality choices compared to whoever makes me feel good. Come on. And so the idea is you need to hold more accountability. If you're the common denominator in all these failed relationships, you can't say men are assholes. You can't say dating sucks. You suck at it. And I'm sorry, but it's true. And we've all sucked at it. We've all been horrible at it. But until you get better and grow on it and learn it's me that I need to get better at, it's me that needs to challenge myself, it's me that needs to grow up, then you're always going to see the same things. And so that emotional intelligence, I always look at it where it's like that emotional pedestal. You finally grow up and you kind of graduate. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't drink the same beer we did in high school or college. We don't wear the same clothes in high school and college, but we still emotionally date like we do in college or in our 20s. You grow up and you want to value someone in that same level of that maturity.
And it's basically, I want to try to summarize your advice here. And what comes to my mind is sometimes you need to raise your standards.
Yeah.
And if your standards are only based on your emotions, you will continue to make the wrong choices.
Or looks.
Or looks.
Women do that way too much.
Because looks and emotions don't get you nowhere. That's why it's important for you to not lose yourself. It could be in dating, in love. That's why it's so important for you to raise your standards. And it starts with knowing exactly what are you looking for in a relationship? What are you looking for in a man? And don't just jump into dating without making sure that he's serious, okay? And that he really want to work with you on building an empire, building a great relationship, building a partnership. So remember, ladies, I attached the link and I will do it again in the chat now, or it's in the description box below. You can work with coaching with Andres. Andres will follow you. He would give you all of the advice. You can just also hit the like button, subscribe. I see Merle saying that she subscribed to your channel and you have good advice. So, ladies, you know what you have to do. We just deliver as much as we can. We will also see you next week. Okay. We need your questions. So remember to leave every question that you have in the comments, because that's the only way you will be able to move forward. Casey, so proud of you. Kafa, I trust you. I know you will make a good choice. And also, like every one of you that commented, I think that there was a good question also from
well, yeah, just to add on more on the standard
Go ahead.
raising that we talked about. And again, I'm not trying to call out all women on this, but you know, I've seen the pattern. I've seen it through clients. They raise their standards just purely on like going to the gym and looking smoking hot, or looking beautiful, or looking stunning, or like making more money. And guys do that in their own way too. No, there's nothing wrong with it. I think that's a beautiful start. But when we try to say as a coaches and try to bring some level of therapeutic lessons into you, it's more of the standards are working on what you're bad at, improving the standards of what you used to tolerate, improving the standards on how you handle things, how you handle difficult things better, improving the standards on basically inner characteristics, spiritual, emotional, mental things, on expressing the truth in a more effective way. And that way that standard grows. And that's not just for the lucky guy on the dating app. That's for your life. That's for all relationships in your world. Your mom's going to benefit. Your boss is going to benefit. Your best friends are going to benefit. Your daughter or your son are going to benefit from it. It's only going to improve your life in general. So when we talk about improving your standards, yeah, it's great to get in the gym. It's great to look good. It's great to make some good money. But anyone could do that. The standards within yourself, the inner work, and we all look at ourselves saying, you know what, like Coach Alex in the very beginning, I used to be codependent. I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
I mean, and he was like, I used to always carry the relationship, and that's all I was. I was a loser. And I was like, I've done that too. And so we've all done it. And it's more to a point where when are you tired of the same result? It's time to improve and increase the standard within yourself of your choices and how you handle things.
And the good news is that it is possible. If you ask yourself, will it work for me? Is it possible? Can I really change? The answer is yes. Okay. We will continue to support you, but please take your full responsibility. Book a call with us. You will find what a coach is able to do for you, because we are very human. We are close to you. We will help you until you get the success. So thank you so much for tuning in for this live. Thank you, Coach Andres. It's nice to see you again, buddy.
Oh, always. One last thing though, just to a lot of people always wonder, like they're kind of fearful or scared about this approach of coaching or like this improvement of standards. Listen, everybody, anybody can do it. It's all about repetition. It's all about repetition.
Yeah.
You want muscle, do some reps. You want to earn money, do some reps. You want to pass a test, do some reps. Everything in life, everything you want in the dating world, self-improvement, self-love, all that stuff, it's all repetition. So right now you might be weak at it emotionally, but we're going to help you emotionally work out. And I'm telling you, you build muscle, emotional strength, and you get more confident at it.
And also having a coach, they tell you what to do. Like I go to the gym, I have my coach, and I got the results, because if not, I don't know how to positionize my arms, my body. I will always do something wrong. When you come to us, it's because you want a shortcut. If you want to take the long road, it's okay with us. But if you come to the coaching, there is a shortcut, and we tell you, this is what you need to do. This is the results you would get. Simple as that. And you would get it. Okay?
Beautiful.
Coach Andres, that was nice to see you, buddy.
Pleasure. Great to be back.
Guys, we see you next week. Okay, ladies, remember to leave a comment, hit the like button, and share this live to everyone. We are still growing week after week, and it's because of you. So please, let's continue to do it. Okay? Thank you again, and we talk soon. Bye, ladies.